Howdy everyone, it's your boy Mr. J Mike here. I'm making a video here because some of you may know I'm no longer teaching anymore. You Maybe you heard, maybe you didn't, but yeah, I'm not at the school, not just because of COVID, but just because I have moved on, I reckon. Things conspired, so I just wanted to let y'all know I've been thinking about you. Been thinking about a lot of you, and I've had a lot of you email me, try to get a hold of me, and ask about anything from finance related issues to college issues to personal issues. And so I figured since I probably won't ever have the opportunity to see you after class again, I might be able to just give you a couple minutes to just kind of share with you kind of the things I wished I had the opportunity to share with you before I left. Uh, the first, I guess, is that I am incredibly proud of all of you and grateful for the time that I had to know you, to teach you, to be friends with you, to get to know you, and just to hear about your stories and see you grow and mature and all those things. And that's kind of the things that you would expect a teacher to say, but I really meant it. And I wished I had the opportunity to say goodbye to you in person, but that wasn't really the case for a lot of you. So I have to say it through these sorts of means. I wish you all the best, and I know that in this nightmare that we are in, where so much of the world is getting, seems like it's getting worse and awful, and people are getting sick, they're dying, they're losing their jobs, they are losing security, they are getting sad, anxious, scared. In times like these, it's difficult to really know how to maintain. Whenever you're stuck in online class all day, staring at a screen, you don't even get to see anybody. It's hard to connect, hard to want to connect, especially for a lot of you who are seniors this year. I know how difficult that can definitely be. What I would tell you is first that it's okay to feel all of the things that you may be feeling: frustration, anxiety, uh, annoyance, more annoyance than you probably did before at school in general, loneliness, isolation, sometimes guilt. Some of you may be feeling guilty that you are feeling as bad as you do whenever nothing may have particularly happened to you. Others may feel jaded and frustrated with others that um, they don't understand the suffering that you may be going through. And others just may be annoyed that you really don't know what the whole hullabaloo is about. You know, you may have been lucky and not had to go through a lot of the things that others have. And I just want you to know that, like I've said a million times before to you, your feelings don't have to reflect reality. It's okay to feel like the world is crashing down and knowing at the end of the day that there will be a start of another one. And that's okay. It's perfectly okay to have feelings and know that these feelings don't have to really mean anything. Sometimes I feel like I'm worthless or that I'll never make it in life. Sometimes I feel like it's the greatest day of my life. And I can feel those things. And the reality can be totally different. That's okay. Secondly, I'd let you guys know that when we have very overwhelming emotions and we don't know how to deal with them, a lot of times we feel like if we just kind of push them down and bury them, then they'll go away. But the irony is that when we bury our emotions, they don't really die. They actually grow roots and they start spreading. Those really negative feelings that you've been having, if you've been having them, of course, they don't really go anywhere at all. They just grow and in many cases get worse because now you're starting to pull it in every other area. And so we think, all right, well, if my emotions are like a wave, I could try to fight against the wave, pretend like I'm not having them, and just beat through it, or I could just sink. This is just my lot. I'm always going to feel miserable. This is just never going to get any better. and you know, everything's just, I'm just going to sink. Those are two extremes that really nobody wants. You don't really want that because obviously you would prefer to not sink, keep breathing. You also don't want to keep being overwhelmed by the flood and the waves. So what do? We learn how to surf the waves. It is perfectly possible and perfectly healthy to have these feelings and surf them. When they come at us, rather than fight against it or drown against them, we learn how to ride them and say, I feel like the world is crashing, or I can't believe that that person said that to me, or I feel so lonely and have to see the person that I care about online, or I miss my relative, or I miss my friends. What do I do? And to feel those things and know that I feel it, I acknowledge that I feel it, and I'll move on with it. It's a skill, it's a practice. You're not denying your feelings, you're just recognizing that they are there and they don't have to have power over you. In the same way that you might feel hungry, knowing that in 30 minutes you're going to go eat, which I guess is a little bit more difficult to do now because you could just technically go to the kitchen at any time, but um, you get the gist. Or whenever you really got to pee and you just got to hold it in, right? Uh, your emotions are those kinds of cravings and urges and feelings that don't really have to determine the end of the world for us, nor do they have to determine the start of the world. They can just be something that we feel. I really want to encourage you guys to learn these sorts of things. The habits that you can learn these through with is what's called acceptance and commitment therapy. It sounds a lot more complicated than it is. It's really just being more mindful of ourselves. Stop being on autopilot. I would encourage all of you, if you're dealing with anything frustrating or not knowing how to handle our emotions or just kind of adjusting to this COVID apocalypse that we're in and the new normal for a while, I would encourage you to do a certain handful of things that can really, really be beneficial to you. The first is start reading more and staying on your phone less. I used to harp on this a million trillion times when we was in class. That being on your phone is not going to help you. That it is an addictive substance. That being on social media is going to make you more miserable and make you feel more isolated. And so detoxing off of that is the best thing you could do. Read a good book. Currently, right now, I'm reading a book called The Good Lord Bird about, it's a historical novel about John Brown. If any of you guys know about this dude, he was insane. Abolitionist, terrorist, freedom rider during the Bleeding Kansas era. I really like that kind of stuff, so that's me. I don't know, whatever. If y'all are interested in sci-fi stuff like that, you might want to pick up Dune or the Foundation trilogy from Isaac Asimov. Dune was from Herbert, I believe his name was. There's a movie about to come out with it, and the trailer looks dope. So read more, stay on your phone less, connect with friends more, even if it's with Zoom or going to the park in an open areas. You know, I'm right next to Shelby Farms. The dog park is literally right in front of me. Um, Go take a walk out there. It's beautiful. The weather's gorgeous. We're about to hit wonderful times, and I highly recommend you do it. You might bump into me. Me and my wife like to go out there and enjoy our time, just taking a look at the dogs, just enjoying the weather, walking about. We'd love to see you. We'd love to have you, and it could be really helpful. Physical exercise is important, and it's not necessarily something that you have to do at a gym. I'd be happy to talk to some of you about calisthenics, things you can do at the house. But most importantly, it's just taking ourselves off of autopilot, recognizing that the people around us who may be really getting on our nerves, like our family, um, may do and say some very difficult and hurtful things to us. Um, our friends may do the same. Rather than ignore or brush off or just immediately be okay with whatever kinds of awful things they may say or do to us, I would encourage us to be patient and recognize that we're all having a hard time. Sometimes for our parents, it may be worse because they not only have to deal with all the feelings you're feeling, but also the feelings of how am I going to provide. I know my wife and I struggle with that. And it's hard. Be patient with one another. Be patient with people that um, maybe not understand all the things you're going through. But also reach out to those that are close to you and say, let's just talk. I just want to hear about you, hear about your struggles, and see how you're really feeling. It may not solve everything, and hopefully you don't, but at least you know you got somebody who's there, who cares for you. I've always believed that a good friend can double our joys and halve our sorrows. I wish that I had a greater opportunity to be that kind of friend for a lot of you this season. But more importantly, I hope you have friends like that in your life. So, I guess to some, I would say ultimately, it's okay to feel your feelings. They don't have to reflect reality. Ride the wave and practice that. Practice how to ride the wave. Get off your damn phone. Do a lot of healthy things. Start building healthy habits and know that it's going to be tough at first. But build the healthy habits to get where you want to go. Lastly, I'm sure a lot of you are probably going to be asking me about college. Y'all know how I feel about college and how I think it's pretty much trash and a lot of waste of money. However, y'all are gonna go. So if you need a rec, if you need a little bit of assistance trying to figure out what to do, holler at me. Email me. John, JOHN, as in Michael, Trowbridge, TROW Bridge, johnmtrowbridge@gmail.com. Y'all know my email. I said it a million trillion times. Holler at me. If you need job recommendations, if you're wanting to know about an interview, holler at me. I'm here for you. I still want to be a resource to you for as long as you need me. All right. Don't think that once you get into college that you can't holler at your old boy Mr. J Mike about your credit or about what banks you should look into or about the new season of Rick and Morty or just whatever. I want to be a resource to help you with those things. When it comes to college, I'm here. All right. I promise I won't judge you for it. But I do want to help you all live the life that you want to live. So let me be your dude. Lastly, y'all remember, if you are having a hard time, even financially speaking, you don't know how things are going to go, remember, poverty is natural. Perpetual poverty is a self-perpetuating illness. And what's the treatment? It's discipline. Poverty of the mind, of our emotions, and poverty financially works the same way. It's just an illness with a little bit of discipline and somebody along with you. We can get through it. We really can. I miss y'all. I miss y'all dearly, and I'm happy to be here for all of you. If you need me at any time, shoot me a holler. I cannot say this enough, guys. I am deeply proud of all of you. Thanks for the opportunity, and see ya.